Pokemon Creepypasta, The Hacked Red Cartridge, created by PokeGirl47. It all started when my brother discovered Pokemon hacks. He was using my red version, now technically his since I sold it to him, to try out bootlegs and hacks that he'd heard about for himself. He had attempted almost every glitch and hacked every save file of his. That's when he came up to me and said, "Hey Luann, I found a hack that alters the storyline and makes the game less kid-friendly, and I want you to try it out." Angrily, I accepted, knowing that he would push me around until I did it anyway. I started the game up. He had named the player Red, which was no surprise. I went to Professor Oak's lab to get my starter, which was going to be Bulbasaur. When he got me from the grass, he didn't let me pick a Pokemon. Instead, he gave me a Pokemon, but the game didn't state what Pokemon. When Gary challenged me to a battle, it turned out that Pokemon that I'd received was a missing node named Killer that only knew Curse. So I used Curse, and the game informed me that Gary Squirtle had died. That didn't really freak me out, because I was used to Creepypasta. After that, I headed to the next town, Viridian City. I noticed that there was an NPC blocking the way in, and he wouldn't let me go through. I checked my items, and surprisingly, I had a key item, Axe. Out of curiosity, I used Axe, and the NPC vanished, leaving behind a dark spot of pixels. Blood. I got Oak's parcel and went back to Pallet Town to deliver it. I gave it to the professor, but he didn't give me a Pokedex. He just said, "Go. I cannot stop you now." I went to Viridian Forest. I fought through it, killing, not feigning, Pokemon. Also, after every trainer battle, Red used Axe on the trainer without me doing it, leaving blood behind. The game wouldn't let me catch any other Pokemon either, because apparently they are too scared to be with Killer. I got farther through the game, nothing noteworthy until I got to Lavender Town. Not wanting to do this at night, I saved the game, turned off, and went to sleep. The next day, I got back on the game. I went into Pokemon Tower, beating Gary, note, Red did not use Axe on Gary, and the Chandlers, until I encountered the Ghost. The game forced me to throw my only Pokeball at it, and caught it. I got farther in my game, and eventually got to the Elite Four. I entered the building, and instead of engaging in a battle, I saw a pile of NPCs. I went over to the pile and pressed A. I really wish I didn't. One by one, graphical, close-up, gross images of cut-up and hacked NPCs showed on the screen. Eventually, the slideshow ended, and I was allowed to go into the next room. In there, a pile of Pokemon. Reluctantly, I pressed A. Color-drained dead Pokemon showed. After that was over, a text box appeared saying, "Red used Axe on Red." Suddenly, the cut animation played on Red, and he vanished, leaving behind blood. The typical game over screen came, but with a graphical image of a bloody cut-up Red showing. I turned the game off and gave it back to my brother. I will never play bootlegs or hacks again. Ever. That was the Pokemon Creepypasta, The Hacked Red Cartridge, created by PokeGirl47. My final thoughts? The worst Pokemon Creepypasta I have ever read. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to insult the author here, but could you have at least been a little bit more original? Like, first of all, the thing that really made me angry about this game was the ending. And I know that seems, like, strange just to say the ending. Like, first of all, this whole entire story was wrong. But the ending where it said the typical game over screen came, there's no game over screen in Pokemon. You run out of Pokemon, you either white out or black out, and you wake up in the Pokemon Center with them healed. The only downside of that is that you lose money. There is no game over screen in Pokemon. Like, did you play Pokemon? And next, let me just say, this entire story is a copy of Pokemon Black. This whole entire concept of having a Pokemon that only knows one move, instantly joins your party, and not only kills Pokemon, but the trainers itself, has been done before. It's just a rehashed trash copy. It's so garbage. Plus, I don't think the Game Boy of all things can handle close-ups of gross images of NPCs bloodied up and cut up. I'm physically stuttering right now because this story was literally the worst thing I've ever read. Now, I do expect to read bad stories at least a bit better than this, or even worse somehow, like this one. But that's gonna take a real big leap to do so. I was stuttering so much while reading this story that it made me irritated. Some of this grammar isn't even that good. It's sometimes just off the rails. I should probably stop ranting and just, like, if you have any opinion on it, please leave so in the comments. But that's going to be it for the day. My name is HyperHimes. Subscribe if you want more content like this. But above all else, I will see you in the next video. Hail the Hypenese.